Well, heidi ho.
Audio.
It's so
Martha.
great to see you. We haven't seen you live in a while.
Well, I'm
You're
barely alive.
Since you're semi-retired. I say semi because we know that most musicians never actually retire. But
That's right.
how have you been? And how is being in this era of everything kind of being digital and remote kind of affected your process and your involvement and stuff?
Well, I have to do it at home, that's for sure. And learning some of the new programs for writing music is very interesting.
I know you are the much storied finale software maven of the handbell world, but
Yeah,
now that that program is being sunsetted, I said to Michelle, if an opportunity presents itself organically, I might just ask Martha Lynn about her thoughts on finale and jumping over to Dorico or Sibelius or something, and you just open that door wide open
There
at
you
the
go.
front. So I'm gonna walk through it. Have you dipped your toe into that pool at all?
I've tried Dorico and I've gotten part of the way, but if they have any handbell symbols on there, I have yet to find them.
They're obscure for sure.
I mean, to put a mallet symbol, you have to put a staccato on and then put a dot on.
I
That's a friend of mine. He's, I think he's thinking he needs to help me. I just shut him off there.
Okay.
No worries. I have said for the longest time, I mean, as long as I've known you, one of the things that impressed me so much and carries on to this day, some 15 plus years later, that you are such a great example of someone who is a lifelong learner.
Yes.
You're just always like most people in your position at their stage in your career or your stage in their career, whatever, in a comparable place in their career would say, I can't deal with a new thing. Forget it. I'm not going to even bother. And you always find that there's more to learn. And I just think that's so inspiring. So thank you for helping all of us feel that you're always able to pick up something else.
I appreciate that. I wish I could get a little further with Dorico, but I'm not giving up yet.
Good.
But on the other hand, I'm hoping finale will outlive me.
Well, Michelle was just talking about having. Didn't were you saying you had purchased
I purchased an older laptop so I can
solely
continue
for that program?
only
No
for finale.
no updates, just to run that.
Yeah.
It cannot be aged past the finale because it's not capable of running the newer things. But I remember when finale didn't have the handbell symbols too, and
Sure.
I've been using finale since 1989. So,
Well,
but
I mean, yeah, me too, a long time.
and we convinced them to add them. We got the handbell use chart plug and everything. I'm sure that as more handbell people use Dorico, they'll be willing to add some things in for us. I think that it's just everybody's kind of like, okay, who's going where and what's happening now.
Mhm.
So it'll sort itself out.
It seems the company's pretty receptive to constructive suggestions, feedback, commentary, and stuff from users, which makes a big difference.
Yes. Yes.
Have you had any dealings with that yet, Martha Lynn, from the standpoint of reaching out to the movers and shakers there?
No, I don't know really how to do it. And I don't know who to contact to ask for help. So hopefully somewhere it will appear.
Hope so. I know that in a couple of upcoming conferences, like at Virtual Winter Workshop, um, I know that Larry Sue is going to be teaching a class in Dorico, so that'll be good to
Yeah,
to
I
see.
wish I was able to get to the events, but there's just no way that I can anymore.
But the Virtual Winter Workshop you can just watch on your computer.
Yeah,
All right. So, Martha Lynn Thompson, I first of all, I'm thrilled to be here with you here, and I'm very excited that you were able to join us today. As a composer of handbell music, what was your initial inspiration for starting to write music for the instrument? Why did you start writing handbell music?
well, with the choirs that we took to the festivals, and we always went to a regional and or a national.
Mhm.
Originally, the the programs consisted and we're talking the 1960s, and so many of the concerts had so many of the same pieces of music on them. Good music, but we would hear it again and again at the festival. And so our ringer said, well, we want something that nobody else would play. And so that's what got me interested in finding something that would work. Now, I've made some really dumb mistakes, and unfortunately, some of my dumb mistakes were published. But, you know, you live and you learn and you find out what works with your group and what they like to do.
Mhm.
So it was a matter of necessity in a way.
Mhm.
But then eventually we had many bell choirs at the church. So we needed a lot of music for them, and they wanted something that was theirs.
Cool.
And your music, specifically your arrangement of Anderson's Sleigh Ride, has been invoked in at least two of our other interviews today.
Really?
Yes.
You've made such a huge impact on this art form. And you know, I coming into it not knowing anything about handbells when I started a church job where handbells were there, like literally didn't know what they were, much less what any of the repertoire were, or, you know, where to go for resources and things, and who the composers and arrangers were to keep an eye on. I now look back over all of this and think of you, Ellen Jane Lorenz and Betty Gary, kind of as the matriarchs that sort of pushed the art form back in the day, and you're continuing on now with it, especially for women in the field.
Mhm.
And you know, something that I'm really passionate about, even today, the pool of both writers and conductors is still pretty heavily male dominated. And
Uh-huh.
so, you know, I think we really need to be looking at raising up and encouraging the next generation of young girls and women to be interested in writing, composing, arranging, conducting. Um, what would you say to advise or inspire that movement, those girls to get involved, and what kind of wisdom can you share for them?
Well, you have to try it to find out if you like it and if it's successful. Um, as long as we were at St. James, I never submitted any piece of music for publication consideration unless I had tried it out with one of our choirs.
Mhm.
And I found what worked and what didn't work. And then I had a chance to rework it if necessary.
Right.
And I think that's very important. I regret that now I do not have that luxury of a bell choir that can do it. But at the same time, I'm not that much into the bigger pieces. Although I did recently do an arrangement of the Bach Jig Fugue, which I have never heard. So let's hope it works. But
Do the ringers have to dance on the handbells?
I'm sorry, I didn't
Do
understand.
the ringers have to dance on the handbells like you're testing?
I don't know. I haven't tried it out with bells, but it is being published.
Oh,
So
Nice.
we'll see. It
nice.
will be a challenge, I know that.
So in addition to concert pieces and things like that, I know that you've done a lot of pedagogical writing as well.
Right.
Small pieces for this or everything. I actually collect all the old method books and things. I mean, I've got like Doris Watson's book
Uh-huh.
and things like that.
Yeah.
So how did you come to start doing those? Was that also for your church choirs or was that a separate thing?
All of what I've done, other than when I have been really out of commission and fully retired, uh, came from the needs within the church situation. We were fortunate enough to have Fran Callahan joined St. James, and she learned handbells through ringing. And then she began to direct the fourth grade bell choir. And so she and I would collaborate on writing things that we needed for that level. Fourth, she did the fourth, I did the fifth, somebody else did the sixth grades. And that's sort of where we got started. And then as the ringers got better and more advanced, then I tried to meet that need.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And the thing that they like, you mentioned that other piece that
Sleigh
was,
ride?
what was it?
Sleigh ride.
Sleigh ride.
Sleigh ride. I love Leroy Anderson's music, and so I was privileged to have permission to do it. But
Mm-hmm.
I found that the ringers really, really liked the classics, the good music. They didn't care so much for what was popular at the time, but they liked the big things.
Mm-hmm.
One of the ones that I think, in a way, became a signature piece, certainly of the alumni ringers, was the Vito Toccata from the Fifth Symphony. They
Yes.
loved that and would play it at the drop of a hat. And they sort of consider that theirs. But it's just give them good music and they'll relate to it.
I think that one of the real talents that you have, and this is just it's just filtering in now as we've been talking, is to your point that good music is, as Arnold Sherman always used to say, good music is good music and cream rises to the top. But I think there's a level of discernment that you've really got in spades, that you recognize not everything, not every piece will translate well to being arranged for handbells.
Right.
I remember as a kid wanting to play, growing up in the 80s, taking piano lessons, and I'm going to play all this pop music and stuff on the piano. And I couldn't understand when my parents and my piano teacher said, that song just doesn't work on the piano.
Right.
It's just not written for that instrument. It's not going to sound right on that instrument. I'm thinking through, stuff of yours, and if there are, like you said, published mistakes, nothing comes to mind. Like you've got a real obvious talent in writing for the instrument, but knowing what works for it out of the gate before you even start on an arrangement or a transcription. Is there any magic in that process, or is it just kind of developing your ear over the years? Any advice? Because there's a lot of stuff out there that people are trying to put on bells that doesn't always work.
Yeah, I guess it basically comes from experience and from doing things that didn't work. And sometimes you have to just say, forget it. This is not going to work. You talk about a failure. When I first decided to write something for this bell choir that wanted their own, I had done a two-part invention as part of my college requirement. And so, like an idiot, I submitted it to the AGEHR. And I shouldn't say this, but they accepted it. And not only was it not bell-like, but it was in the key of D flat.
Oh, gosh.
And, everything worked together to make it not successful, but it was published and I got $43 and odd cents for it. But I learned, and the next time I tried something, it was the Parade of the Wooden Soldiers, which worked.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's still available. My learning lesson was that they gave me $25 for it, and they owned the rights, and I never got any royalties for it. But making money in royalties was never my intent. It's nice if it happens.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. I think that's awesome. I'm wanting to get my hands on that piece now. You want to share the title?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
Do you want to share the title of your inventions? Were they just called two inventions?
That's what it was called.
Okay.
Invention. I don't know that it's published any longer.
Someone's got it in a library somewhere. They do.
Put a search
There's
on
some
eBay.
filing cabinet in some church somewhere that's got 20 copies of it sitting there in pristine condition.
I'll see if I can find a copy of it.
With no offense to the key of D flat.
No, no, but the ringers would probably pull their hair out.
Yeah,
I mean,
good for their brains.
Well, yeah, but it's not a key that you think of as fitting the bell range.
right.
True. It's
And
true.
this certainly didn't cover the entire bell range, but we did have a D flat.
So one more question for you, Martha Lynn. We talked about you writing the concert pieces and writing the pedagogical pieces. What was your favorite configuration of bells to write for? I mean, was it 5 octaves, 3 octaves, 2 octaves, quartet, pedagogical pieces, or what? 2 octaves?
I think that depends on what time of my life it was.
Okay.
Earlier, it was first of all, things for the children that we needed. Then it became things that we needed for the advanced group. Then after COVID hit, we got hit hard. And I found that I really enjoyed doing 7-ringer music. And it was a challenge, but something that I enjoyed. And along with that line of thought, I did also do a collection of 7-ringer music, but it's a teaching collection that in front, at the top of each piece, there is a paragraph that tells the ringers what we're going to learn in this piece. And it may be just a new musical thought, or it may be a technique or whatever. Now, I would certainly hope the director would explain this, but by having it there in the music, part of the responsibility is now on the ringer.
Mhm.
And I hope that the public finds it usable.
You probably think the ringers read footnotes too, don't you?
They can't miss this. It is at the top of the music before the first note is rung.
When you said it, the first thing that popped in my head was the very glib comment. So now the ringers can ignore it too.
Yeah, that's right.
What's I would just think, having seen so much stuff and done so much stuff, there's got to be a sweet spot for you. There's a real difference in approaching writing a simpler level 1, level 2 kind of thing versus a pull out all the stops, level 5, level 6, sky's the limit kind of thing. On the one hand, you've got all sorts of tools in your toolbox with the more advanced things, but there's a bigger bunch of things to balance. And on the simpler stuff, you have fewer tools to work with, but in some ways that's kind of a puzzle to solve to make it interesting and do more with less, if that makes sense. So where do you, just absent any direction or commission or specific stated goals, where do you find is kind of your happy place to write on levels? And how do you approach different levelings in different ways when you're writing?
Oh, I never really thought about it that way. If I've got the strength and the energy to do a big piece and I think it will work, I enjoy doing that. But on the other hand, the things for 7-ringers don't take that much thought. They just have to be able to be done within a given range. Yeah. And a given number of ringers also. I enjoy both at the time, whatever I'm trying to write. It's hard to say. It's like not liking one child better than the other.
Yeah, they're all special, right?
Yeah.
But we all secretly know I'm the favorite of me and my sister. I have to ask this. If you want to share kind of what you have in the hopper right now, if you're at liberty to say kind of what you're working on, and then as a follow-up, whether you want to share that or not, I'm assuming you, like most all of us, have an enormous ideas list or file of tons of things that you want to arrange or write, etc. You want to share anything as to what's on that list, how big that list is, and what you got going?
Right now, I really don't have much of a list. I have some things that some of them are, oops, did I do something wrong?
No, you're
Nope,
fine.
you're fine. Carry on.
Well, all I see on the screen right now is Zoom.
Oh, well, we still got you if you don't mind not looking at us.
Well, okay. I don't know what to do about it. Let me see if let me try this. No, okay, do you still have me?
We
Yes,
still got
we still
Okay.
see you. Everything's great.
Okay. I don't really have anything on tap right now that I'm wanting to do. Some of the things that I have to consider are orchestral scores or band scores, and I really don't like to do those. They're very difficult for me to deal with all the transposing instruments and stuff, but I may get around to it at some point. But I'm always on the lookout for something to do.
like I said, lifelong learner.
Yeah.
You're so inspiring to us, to
Oh,
all of us, and such a gift to this community.
Absolutely.
you're too kind.
We appreciate you so much.
We do. Thank you so much, Martha Lynn.
Any last pearls of wisdom you want to share with everybody watching before we take off?
There was one thing that I was told you might ask, and that was words of wisdom.
Yes, we would love those.
Um, I think it's very important to make the ringers feel like they're wanted and that they're loved. But at the same time, I think it's important to make them realize that they need to make a commitment and that what they say and their word is worth something. Now, as a child, the commitment not only is theirs, but it's a parental
Yes.
commitment also. And to some extent that it extends to the youth. But they need to know that if they say they will do something, their word is worth something. One of these days, they're going to be able to sign a contract for something, maybe buy a house or whatever it is. That's important for them to know. Just as a fun thing we did, we used to have the first meeting of our beginning bell choir with the parents. And what we did, we made a copy of a given psalm and we printed the psalm as it would appear out in the Bible. And at the top, we put what would appear as a Bell's use chart, a list of the words that would appear in the psalm. And the piece of paper with the psalm on it was given to the parents. Now, the rules were you may not write on this piece of paper. You are be asked to read the psalm as if it were one person. So we gave them the go and to start. Well, they act just like ringers. Oh, I forgot that. That's my note. That's my word.
Everyone was given just a couple of words.
What?
Everybody was assigned their couple of words.
Yes.
I'm
love
that.
it.
What
I'm
fun.
sorry. I left that part out. Yes. And they acted just like ringers, but it taught them something, the importance of the ringers being at rehearsal every time.
Yeah.
I think that's important. And I think as those of us who are church musicians, I dare to say this, but I will. I don't think our first job is to teach music. I think our first job is to teach about God and God's love, but do it through music. And then once we've done that together as a group, we can make music to God's glory. And I think if we keep our perspective on things like that, then we will be doing a service to the church, but we will also be doing a service to the ringers.
That's
Agreed.
wise words indeed, Martha Lynn. Very wise.
Thank you so much, so much for sharing this time with us tonight.
Thank you for yours. I hope that I didn't mess up or anything. I
You're
don't know
fine.
Fine.
I don't know where you are, but all I'm seeing is Zoom.
Well, we'll wrap it up, and if you need any tech support backing out of it, just ping one of us or JR, and we'll get you set.
What was the last thing you said?
I just said if you need any help after we end the
Oh,
meeting.
getting out of it. Oh, I think I can get out of it.
Okay.
I just hope you will edit what I've said.
JR
JR,
is doing all the editing. It'll be fine.
Thank you. And it's good to see both of you. And Michelle, I don't think we've ever met, but I know Michael.
oh wow,
Way back.
wow! I don't know how to take that.
I took
Well,
a couple
it's
of your
pretty
finale
good,
classes.
considering.
I
Thank
took a couple of your finale classes, and you and I both worked on the 2009 notation guide.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Long time
But
ago.
I've slept since then, so I didn't, I don't remember. Oh, there's my picture.
There.
Okay,
You're finding yourself. See?
Yay.
I think it's over with. But
Okay.
anyway,
Okay.
I'll shut my mouth and you all can go do what you need to do.
All right. Well,
Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
Martha Lynn.
much.
Thank you.
Thank
God
you.
bless.
take care.
Goodbye.